I'll just go right to video. All right, thanks so much for being with us here on Atlanta News First Plus. Thanks so much for being with us here on Atlanta News First Plus. Just sharing with you some of the top stories that we are following right now. There has been this crash in Cobb County that has really left the neighborhood on edge because a car actually crashed not into just one, but two different homes in Cobb County. The driver's now in the hospital. The neighborhood really on edge, really shaken. It happened on Alice Bear Lane in Ackworth. Some of the residents just narrowly escaped injuries after this happened. Cobb County police say that an officer was trying to conduct a traffic stop on a vehicle, but then the driver took off and fled out of sight. And later on, some of the residents there alerted the officers to the fact that a vehicle had crashed into a home there on Alice Bear Lane in Kennesaw, resulting in major property damage. So again, it was two different homes. Police say none of the residents were inside the homes at the time, thankfully, or none of them were injured, I should say, inside the homes, I should say. The driver was injured, however, and taken into the custody by responding officers. There were also passengers inside the vehicle, but officers are still working to learn the extent of their injuries. Residents of one of the homes did tell Atlanta News First that the car came from Baker Road, which is one street over behind the houses, and they say then the car went airborne at that time. It jumped a fence and then crashed into one of their bedrooms. Let's listen to some reaction.
To be honest with you, Adam, I was asleep. Suddenly, I heard a big boom, and my girl wake me up. It said something, trees down, and I look up. I saw a car inside my bedroom while I'm laying with a young man inside of the car.
Yeah, it's really incredible. The crash is still under investigation right now. Charges are also pending. Anyone with information about what happened is asked to please contact Cobb County Police. Okay, let's talk about MARTA and 4 new MARTA stations actually coming to Atlanta. A lot of people are looking forward to this. Not everyone, though, I will say. But the city's not shared a timeline yet for when these stations are going to be built. Atlanta News First reporter Madeline Montgomery found that people are already divided on whether or not this is a good thing.
The Beltline, a busy part of the city that's about to be even easier to get to.
I definitely think it would bring more foot traffic, especially to my end of the Beltline.
Krog Street at Hurley Yard is just one of the locations announced for new MARTA stations across the metro.
A lot of people that work at Krog and other shops around here, they do catch MARTA, and they either Uber or walk to like the Emden Park station. So I think that'd be great.
Mayor Andre Dickens naming Joseph E. Boone between Ashby and Bankhead, Murphy Crossing in Oakland City, and Armour Yards in Buckhead as the other new MARTA station locations.
So I think they're wonderful locations that can actually begin to tie people to much needed development and also tie people to amenities as well.
All the new stations are on existing rail lines.
To give equitable access to everyone in the city of Atlanta to a quality transportation system is what we're after.
But with so many other MARTA projects planned, like the streetcar expansion, some wonder when these stations will actually be built.
These stations may happen in your lifetime, but they won't happen within easily the next, optimistically, they might happen in the next 15 to 20 years.
And if the funding could be used on existing transportation infrastructure.
Make the buses better, make the currently existing bus rapid transit better, make the streetcar better, instead of making these insane announcements.
Madeline Montgomery, Atlanta News First.
All right, we also have a health warning to let you know about the highly contagious measles virus. So it is actually seems to be spreading here in Georgia. The third case has now been confirmed by the Georgia Department of Public Health. They are saying that the patient is an unvaccinated person who is traveling with a group of international students. The patient does not live in the U.S., but the Centers for Disease Control is tracking anyone exposed to them. Measles can stay in the air for up to 2 hours after a person walks away. Vaccination definitely is the best way to prevent it. But if you do contract measles, this is a very important point. Doctors are urging you actually not to just walk into the clinic or the hospital because it is so contagious. Just call first. Okay, let's talk about the Dogwood Festival. Let me change the graphic here because we're not talking about measles anymore. We're talking about something more positive. So it's the return of the in-town Atlanta tradition, the annual Dogwood Festival this weekend at Piedmont Park in Midtown. Atlanta News First reporter Rebecca Schramm has more.
It will be windy today, which might cause some problems for some of the exhibitors trying to hold down their art displays, but the rest of the weekend should be perfect. We've been watching as they've set up some of the last-minute exhibits here, including the Kids Zone, all set and ready for the gates to open in just a few hours. This is the 88th year for the Atlanta Dogwood Festival, and if you haven't been, it's known for its artist market featuring art of all kinds, including paintings, jewelry, pottery. There's a high school art exhibit as well. They also have a variety of musical performances and a kids village with lots of activities and projects that the little ones can create and take home with them. And of course, food trucks will be here. Longtime festival director Brian Hill explained to us last year the history behind the festival and its original organizer, the son of the founder of Rich's Department Store.
Started in 1936 by Walter Rich, and it was to get people out of the doldrums of the Depression. And now with all of the increased inflation and all the things that people have been worried about, we're here to do the same thing, give people something to celebrate.
So take a look, because here's what you need to know if you want to check out the Atlanta Dogwood Festival. The hours today are noon through 9 o'clock tonight, tomorrow from 10 to 9, and Sunday 10 to 6 here at Piedmont Park. One thing to keep in mind, pets are not allowed during festivals here at Piedmont Park. And also, you might want to consider taking MARTA because parking will be extremely limited. In Midtown, Rebecca Schramm, Atlanta News First.
Thanks so much, Rebecca, for that report. And sounds like it's going to be beautiful weather for the Dogwood Festival. Here's First Alert meteorologist Rodney Harris.
Hey, good morning to you, Joy. Today is going to be a really nice day. There's one thing we're looking at today that we're not a big fan of, and that's the wind. So watch out for that. The wind will be fairly strong today. Similar to yesterday, we actually think the wind will be stronger today than it was yesterday. So if you are going to be out and about throughout the course of the afternoon, watch out for that. Good morning to you, everybody. I'm First Alert meteorologist Rodney Harris. So what you see on the right-hand side of your screen, that is our forecast wind gust map. So there's a difference between like the sustained wind and the gust. The gust is like if you're on an airplane and occasionally you'll get that little rumble of turbulence. That's what a wind gust is at the ground. Occasionally these winds are going to get up to like 27 miles per hour at lunchtime today. Normally our winds are like 5 to 10, maybe up to 15. When we see a gust up to 35, that's definitely higher than normal, so watch out for that. Let's move our forecast model ahead. I actually won't be able to do that, but I'll just tell you that as we get closer to 5 o'clock, that gust is going to be up to like 35 miles per hour. So really 3 o'clock as well. So as you're picking up the kids from school today, as you're driving home from work, or if you're just headed out to lunch, our gusts are going to be around 30, 35 miles per hour in Metro Atlanta. That's the only real threat that we're looking at. It's just a gusty wind. Outside of that, it actually is not a terrible day in Metro Atlanta. Complete sunshine today, which is certainly good. And temperatures will be in the upper 60s. So a little bit cooler than yesterday. Yesterday we were in the 70s, but we did have a cold front that moved through North Georgia. So that's why it was a little bit cooler this morning. That's why it will also be cooler this afternoon. The normal high is in the low 70s, so we are below average. So a little bit cooler this afternoon and a breezy day, but otherwise completely sunny. And the weekend, it just gets better. No wind tomorrow. At least the wind will be more relaxed, not as strong. Mostly sunny on Saturday. Your highs are back in the 70s Saturday afternoon. So I know a lot of the kiddos are going to head out to prom. Great for the prom pictures tomorrow afternoon across Metro Atlanta. And then Sunday, mostly sunny, and we're into the 80s on Sunday. So the temperatures will just keep warming up over the weekend with a whole lot of sunshine. And then as we take you into next week, highs will stay in the 80s. We'll start to see more clouds next week, but it'll definitely stay dry. Our next best chance of rain in Metro Atlanta won't be until like next Friday, so a week from today at best. So it's a really nice smooth pattern that we're falling into as we go into the weekend and into next week. No First Alert weather days whatsoever. But I will put this map back up again. This is our story today. We do have a breezy day out there today. There's a wind advisory that's in effect for the higher elevations of the northeast Georgia mountains. But even if you're not under the wind advisory, you will still see gusty winds just about area-wide in Metro Atlanta. So watch out for the breezy conditions today. Otherwise sunny, less wind over the weekend with temperatures eventually warming to the 80s by Sunday. We hope you guys have an amazing weekend. And until next time, we'll see you soon.